Stampin' friends, and welcome. This is Dee Osburn, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today we're going to create this card together, and I'm wondering if you can guess what I'm making. I am making a Wizard of Oz Yellow Brick Road with Ruby Slippers card. This is going to be so much fun, and I'm going to show you how I made all these elements, and then we're going to glue them all together. So if you like this video as you go along, please like, share, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I love getting comments, and I will comment back to every person who comments to me. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing that you're going to need is a piece of black cardstock cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now, like I said, we're going to put this card together. So I have not put it together yet. I've just made some of the elements, and I'll show you how I did that. Now, I am going to cut later, and when I'm all done, I'll cut a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 white cardstock to put on the inside. I did cut another piece of 5 1/4 by 4 white cardstock, and I took a sponge, and I like to put a binder clip on the end of it so that my fingers don't get full of ink. And I used Sahara Sand ink, the Sahara Sand ink pad, and I inked up my sponge, and I started from the outside of my paper, and I went inside and in a circular motion, and I inked up and colored the bottom part of this card. Okay, then I took a balmy blue dauber. I wanted the sky to look kind of cloudy, not cloudy, but you know, swirly, I guess. And so I took the balmy blue and I inked it up on my dauber, and I did the exact same thing. I started on the outside and worked my way in. You start on the outside so that when you place your dauber down, that's where the spot of ink goes, and then you're going in a fluid motion. All right, so you always start on the outside. So started on the outside and colored all of my sky. All right, and then that piece was done. So then I took, we're going to do that in just a minute. I'll show you how I did those. That was super fun making the ruby slippers, and I'm not quite done with those yet. I'll show you what else I'm going to do. But to make the yellow brick road, and it's not perfect. It's not by any means, it's not perfect. I'm going to make this a little more round right here. But I just took a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock, just a scrap. That's a little bit better. And I cut out with just a circle die. I cut out a circle. And then I took the brick and mortar embossing folder, and I ran it through so I'd have that yellow brick look. And then I took some pineapple punch and a dauber, and I'll show you because I haven't done, I mean I did it on that one, but I'll show you on this one. I just took it and I just rubbed it across, inked it up, rubbed it across. It just gives it a little more dimension. There's no right or wrong way or a certain amount that you have to put on there. I just, you know, brushed it on there like that to give it a little more dimension. See how it makes some of the bricks kind of stand out? So I did that, and I did it with pineapple punch. If you don't have pineapple punch, you could use Daffodil Delight. It would be perfectly fine. So, and then what I did was I took my circle and I just started cutting in a circle. There was no right or wrong way, and I thought I wanted it to get wider as I got towards the center. So I just went like that, okay? And then I turned it over and I cut into the inside of it because I wanted it to have some space around the spiral. So I just cut around it, and you can come back and shape it when you're all done. So no worries. Just follow the cut that you made. Follow it around until you get to the end. And pull that off. And you could actually, they're stuck, use this, but meh, I threw that away. So now you have your spiral, and you can cut more or less, and you can shape it however you want at that point. So this is the one that I ended up with. And, you know, like I said, you can keep shaping it to get it exactly the shape that you want. All right. Now I have my yellow brick road, and we're going to, in just a few minutes, we're going to glue that down, and I'm going to put it so that it ends, the yellow brick road ends, you know, kind of in this guy, or I could have it go off to the edge. I haven't really decided how I'm going to do it yet. Dorothy started in the center and went around, right? So we could have it go off the side like that. I kind of like that. If I do that, then I'll probably want to cut a little more off of the top. But that's okay. We're going to play around with it. So how I made the house, let me show you that. So I took the gingerbread house dies that goes with the sweet gingerbread stamp set, and I used the house die that's in there, and I cut the chimney off because I don't think she had a chimney. I didn't want the chimney, so I cut the chimney off. I did cut the, what do you call that? The window. I did cut the window out, and we're going to put a piece of very vanilla behind there. Okay? And then I ran it through this embossing folder, and this is called Simply Stripes. But if you don't have this, you can put it on your embossing, not your embossing, your scoring. You can use your scoring tool and score those lines and make that, you know, kind of look like, she had a wooden house, and so, you know, I wanted to have like wooden slats. And then I cut off a little bit of corner, you know, like where she crash landed, and used my scissors to rough it up a little bit. Okay? So that's going to go there. It's going to be at an angle. We're going to cut part of this off. Okay, well, whatever sticks off, we'll cut it off. All right. So now we're going to we'll take a little piece of vanilla and we'll put it behind there in just a second. But let me show you how I made the ruby slippers. And I'm going to use, I'm going to do something, I'm going to use a product and make these all glittery at the very end, very ruby glittery at the very end. Okay, so let me show you how I did that. So the way that I made the ruby slippers was I took my Stamparatus, and actually you don't need the Stamparatus, you could do it without a Stamparatus. I just happened to have this on my Stamparatus for another card that I made, so I just used it on there. But you're only going to stamp it once, so you don't need the Stamparatus. You can put it on a block, and that will work just as well. All right, so I took just a piece of white, basic white cardstock, held it down with the magnet, and I took real red. I didn't want to use cherry cobbler because I thought it was a little too dark, so I went with real red, and I inked up the shoes. Okay, you're just going to ink them up. Okay, and you're going to have to do it twice. Okay, so I'm going to actually pull this down so I can do one there, because you only need this shoe. Okay, because you want the toes to be going in the same direction. So there's one. Doesn't matter about that one. Okay, and it doesn't matter if it didn't stamp all the way. Then I'm going to push this up and I'm going to do the other one. So I'm going to ink it back up with real red and I'm going to stamp another one. Okay, I'll put my ink away and now I have my, and that doesn't matter, okay? So I have my 2 shoes that are going that way. It doesn't matter if they're completely stamped or not. It's fine, okay? And so now I really only need this shoe. So I'm going to cut that out. And I want this shoe. So I'm going to cut that one out. All right, so now you have your 2 shoes and you're going to cut one of them like a slipper, and you're going to use that one as your guide for the other one. So I didn't want her heel to look like that. So I started there. I cut kind of straight up on her heel. Okay, and then I just followed the edge of the bottom of the shoe. And when I got to, I don't know, about right here, I went way up, okay? And then I started right here and I cut and followed that around. And I didn't cut the top of it off yet. So see, now I have a shoe. This one doesn't seem quite as long as the other one, but it will do. And then I took this part off, because remember, it's a slipper. So I want to kind of go from here down and around, okay? You know, because it's a shoe. It's not a boot. And I want to give it a nice curve, okay? Let's give it more of a curve. So I want to cut it down and then up. Okay? And then you'll cut this part off. Go to the heel, cut it down, straight down. And you want to cut it straight across. Okay? And now I have my slipper. See? Isn't that just the cutest thing? And then you're going to use this one. You're going to put this one, kind of hold it on top so that you cut it the same. Okay? So you'll just use it as a guide. Okay? And that's really all you need, except the point, because you want to kind of go up to the same part. Then you can just cut this out, the rest of it out. And I didn't leave any white around because I was cutting so much of the shoe off that I wouldn't have white on that part. So I just cut into, you know, the red a little bit on the whole thing. Okay, and then we're just going to cut straight up. There we go. And now I have my 2 shoes. Aren't they cute? Now, let me tell you how I did her stockings. I took a piece of this, and let me see what this is called. This paper, let me look that up real quick. It's called Black and White Designs Designer Series paper. And I just cut a little piece off the corner. Okay, I didn't need much. I just cut a little piece off the corner. And I have a little scrap of it left, so I'll show you how I made the stockings. So I cut a little piece off the corner and I put it on my shoe so that, so see this one's a little bit long. So what I would do is probably just cut this down a little bit, and I would place the shoe on there, and I would glue it on there, okay, and put it towards the back. And once I glue it on there, you're going to cut just a little bit above. You can start right here and cut at an angle to where the leg would be, and then up. So this is what I mean. Okay, so I put the paper on there, and then from about right here, I just cut at an angle, and then I cut straight up. Okay, so that I have a little bit of a foot in there and a leg. Okay, all right, so that's how I did that. And I glued it on there first because then, you know, it was easier to hold. So then I have two legs. And so now I'm just about ready to put all this together. I do need to put my vanilla behind the window. So I have this little piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm just going to put a little glue around the window. Okay, and then I'm going to set it down on top of my Very Vanilla, and now I have a window. All right, so let's figure out how we want this. Now, when the house landed on the Wicked Witch of the East, I think I do want that to kind of go off the edge. The house was like this, and just a tiny bit of the edge of it crash landed onto the yellow brick road. All right, and her feet stuck out from underneath the house, just like that. Okay. They stuck out of the house kind of just like that. Let's put this so you can see it. All right. I think I want it like that. I like that. Okay, and then we'll arrange these feet how we want them. Okay, so I think the first thing that we're going to do is glue down the house. And so we're going to turn it over. And I think we'll use some dimensionals. So let me get those, get some dimensionals. And we'll put a few on here. Let's see. Might not need that one right there because we are going to trim that off. So let's put them a little closer to the middle. Okay. All right. We want this house to be about like that. Right? Let's not push it down yet because we want that yellow brick road to be there. I think let's go ahead and glue down, before we push down the house, let's glue down the yellow brick road. Then we can figure out the house and make sure that they both go together. I'm going to turn this yellow brick road, so I want that point to land right on the edge of my card. There we go. Okay, and now there's my house right there on there we go. Now, I'm not going to cut that off yet because I want to make sure that I have it like I want it. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of these legs. We're going to slide them up under there. Oh, there we go. Slide them up under there. That doesn't seem like a very good dimensional to me. Ah, it didn't, that dimensional wasn't good at all. Let's get a new one. Let's get a new dimensional. Okay, now we're going to put this leg under there. Put that house back down. Okay, and we'll slide this one underneath. So I think this one needs to come over. Slide this one up under there. Okay. And like that. I'm loving it. All right, so I don't want her feet to be quite up quite so much. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue on her feet. Just a tiny bit so that her feet will stick down just a little bit. I'm okay with the toes kind of popping up a little bit. No, I want this shoe on top. Okay. That's so cute. Now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to trim this house off. Okay. All right. Now the other thing that I did, if I can find it. Ah, here it is I made, you know, what do you call that little roof thing? So I'm going to put a little glue on the roof, and I'm putting it on there because I'm not quite sure where this is going to go, but I know I need it right there. So we're going to put that on there, and then it'll stick right where it belongs. Then I can turn this over, and I can trim that off. Perfect. I love it. Love, love, love. Okay, now I'm going to put this on this black card base. So I think that really makes it pop. I've got a couple more things I'm going to do. I do want to put a sentiment on here, and I will show you which sentiment I have chosen. So let's go ahead and put this on there. Okay. All right. Now, for the sentiment, there was a stamp set a long time ago, and if you have it, it would be perfect. It was part of the Coming Home stamp set, and it said, "There's no place like home." And it may have said for Christmas or for the holidays, but you could cut that part off, and then you have "There's no place like home." Right? But I didn't have that. So I'm going to use the Hello Ladybug, and I'm going to use May Your Greatest Wish Come True. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on my block. And I'm going to get some, I don't know what color ink I want. I have two dies that I'm going to that I might use. I have to decide. Do I want this die for the sentiment, or do I want this die for the sentiment? I kind of think I want that. Do I want it there? Do I want it over here? Do I want it right in the middle? Maybe over here? Or do I want the bigger one? I don't know. Bigger one, littler one. I think I'm going to have to stamp two, cut them out, and see. So let's do that. I'm going to bring back this scrap of white that I used for the boots, and I'm going to, I could stamp it in red. If I stamped it in red, I think I want to stamp it in black. But I want to look at it real quick in red. May your greatest wish come true. No, I think I want it in black. So I'm going to go get my memento. And I'm going to clean this and get my memento. And we'll stamp it in black. All right, I've got my memento, and I'm going to stamp it in. I'm going to stamp 2 of them. May your greatest wish come true, and may your greatest wish come true. I don't know if you can hear my dog panting in the background, but she is panting away. She's a big German Shepherd, and you know, they have so much fur, and I'm sure she's pretty hot. It's so hot here. I know it's hot everywhere in the country. All right, so now I'm going to go cut these 2 out, and I will be right back, and we will place them on there and decide which one we want. Okay, let's see. Well, I like this one because it's got the stitching. I think I do like that one. This one's a little bit bigger, but it doesn't have any stitching. So I think I like the other one. We're going to use this one. That was a quick decision. All right, here's my dimensionals. We're going to put a few of these on here. And then we'll just have to ruby up those slippers and we'll be done. All right, you know what I'm going to do real quick, because I can't stand the fact that this card keeps flapping up on me. So we'll take our bone folder and we'll give it a nice fold so that it stops doing that. All right, there we go. Now, I think we're going to put it right here. May your greatest wish come true. Right on. Okay, now we're going to get this stickles stuff. And if you've never used stickles, it's pretty amazing. Stampin' Up! Used to sell some stuff like this. It's just kind of a glitter glue, I guess. I just love it. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell it anymore, but Stickles is a huge company and they have every color you could possibly imagine. This is cranberry. Okay, so we're going to, and it takes a long time for it to dry. So we're going to squeeze some out. It's kind of gooey. I'm going to squeeze some out and spread it around on our shoe. And it's glittery and beautiful. And it'll give some life to this shoe, which I love. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just using the tip of the applicator to spread this around and squeezing every now and then to get a little bit more out. Look at that! Oh my gosh! All right, let's do this one. And it takes, like I said, it takes a while for it to dry. And it's easy to move around because it's so sticky and thick. And that's why I waited till the end, because if I had done it before, I wouldn't have been able to touch it for a long time. I suppose you could do it at the very beginning and then wait to make your card, but you don't really need to. So there we go. Oh my gosh, I love it. I don't know if you can see the glitter on there. Let's see if I can focus it. Hang on. Up close. Hang on. There. Can you see it? Oh, isn't it fabulous? I mean, it really looks like ruby slippers, doesn't it? I love it. All right, let's focus this back down now. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. This was so much fun. Wizard of Oz is my favorite movie of all time. I just love, love, love it. And when I saw the gingerbread dies, the gingerbread house set and the gingerbread dies, did I forget to take the, oh I did, I forgot to take the, there. When I saw the gingerbread house dies, I thought, oh my gosh, I love that. I love to make gingerbread houses at Christmas anyway. And I thought, the house that fell on the Wicked Witch of the East, we could make ruby slippers. And yes. So anyway, I thought I have to do that. So there's my little tribute to Wizard of Oz with the yellow brick road and the house on the Wicked Witch of the East with the ruby slippers. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me do this video. Give it a try for yourself. Really the only thing that you need is the house. You could actually really just cut a square. You could make the house yourself. You could make all of these things yourself, and have a cute little tribute to the Wizard of Oz. So give it a try. I sure hope you've enjoyed it, and I do hope that you'll come back and see me. Have a great rest of your day.